Given all the significant developments at this NATO summit in Madrid, it's hardly surprising that amid the words and press conferences, misinformation has also been spreading. These false claims might have tried to sow distrust or tensions among the alliance, but many of them are simply photos that have been taken out of context. This is one example. Some users claiming that even though Spain is hosting the NATO summit, Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez was apparently given a sidelines role. They claim that in this family photo, Pedro Sánchez was positioned on the back row in the corner. But this is not a photo from this week's NATO summit. You can use open source tools on the internet to reverse search and find when that photo was first published. And as you can see on NATO's official website, it was back in March at another summit in Brussels, just roughly 1 month after the Ukraine war had begun. And indeed, if we take a look at some family photos from this week's summit in Madrid, Pedro Sánchez, the Spanish Prime Minister, is indeed positioned at the front alongside NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg. So that's just one example. And my colleague Sofia Hadsankova in The Cube has been taking a look at another false claim that concerns Spain's security.
Yes, Matthew, we've been seeing these sorts of posts circulating all over social media these past few days. Mainly, they claim that due to the NATO summit, a state of emergency has been declared in Spain and that a new national security law will prevent anyone from protesting in the country and will even allow the government to tap into private citizens' communications. But when we look at the Spanish official website, it says here that any state of emergency in the country must be first approved by the Congress of Deputies. It must then be published immediately in the official state gazette and disseminated by all public media. So we took a look at this in The Cube and we found no trace of such an announcement. And speaking of this new national security law that allegedly will prevent anyone from protesting, well, it simply does not exist. What does exist is an amendment that is due to go before Parliament of the current Spanish national security law, which dates back from 2015, but never does it mention any sort of outlawing of protests in the country. So, Chris, these are just two examples of how misinformation has spread surrounding this NATO summit.